Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching us from and from what time you're watching us from. It is great to have you at this other episode right here at the PCA Thome Online. Have you subscribed to our show? You can be able to subscribe and also share to a friend as we are sharing this wonderful story. I'm your host, Pastor Chege, and it is a joy. And today, our story is about the Gifted Usher that many celebrate and look up to. He has done a lot in his journey, and he's here with us. And we're going to give him an opportunity first, even to tell us his M-Pesa names. Tuambie, ukituma M-Pesa utapata jina gani, and from which part of the country he comes from, and how that shaped him, whether it is his parents, whether it is his church. He will tell us kama amekuwa PCA ama alikuwa wa kanisa ingine growing up. So Bwana Mutahi, you can tell us your M-Pesa names na from which part of Kenya you come from.
Thank you, Pastor Chege. My name Mutahi wa Gadoni, Nicholas Mutahi Kirira. But normally I shorten it to Mutahi wa Gadoni. That's my mother. I come from Kiriaini village, that is in Madhioya constituency, and the bigger Murang'a County. I was born in about 68 years back in Kiriaini. Wonderful. And I went to school at Keru Primary School. Then I went to Kiagodo Secondary School. That is where my academic. From there, I started working, and later went and did refrigeration and air conditioning apprentice with the Directorate of Industrial Training, which has been my career all those 50 plus years. Yeah.
All right. Interestingly, I'm also from Kiagodo, but I don't know if it's Kiagodo from Murang'a or that is from Nyeri.
There's another Kiagodo in Nyeri, that's within the Nyeri-Murang'a border.
Oh, wonderful. Growing up, which church did you go to, and who inspired you?
My parents were from the ACK, and I even we used to go to church at Keru Church, where I was Baptist, but I was Baptist when I was an adult because of various reasons. I come from a very funny background, which some of us would not be very comfortable to explain. Because of that poverty that was there then, there are many things that normally you cannot even just talk about. You just like forgetting about it. That is where I was brought up in the church.
Yeah.
And after baptism, we went back, but that time I was a grown up when I was baptized. I changed the church from the ACK to PCA. The reason why I changed the church, my immediate neighbor when we were studying in Murang'a was the reverend of PCA Church Murang'a, and he's the one who influenced me and made me change my church from ACK to PCA, where I am up to now. That is about 9 years, if I can recall. Yeah.
Now, there's a youth looking at Bwana Mutahi and saying, Bwana Mutahi make it. Unajua nowadays they're saying, make it, and they're thinking, Bwana Mutahi ni kuangukia. Can you tell maybe a young person mwenye anapambana na maisha, wanasema kuhustle, how did you maneuver your way that today you've raised your family? I was with your last born shortly, and he's a great man, and we are in your last born. Wengine already ni mature people. How did you make it to do all this?
Let me say, when I started when I left school, that is 1976, I was employed as a cashier emperor somewhere in Australia, where I worked for a few years. And this company was good enough that it took me to school. That is where I did my refrigeration, and I was employed in that company from 1978 up to 1992. And then in 1992, I decided to go to private sector. And that is how I started my own small business called the Steiger Refrigeration and Air Conditioning Services. And let me say, it is not because of my hard work, it's not because I'm the best, but it's by grace of God that I am whom I am today. One thing I always thank God about is that I've never engaged myself in drinking. The way you find people drinking, because when about drinking, this is my small understanding that it really spoils a lot of our children. Because once you are employed, you should always think about your future. Like you, Pastor, I know you are a young man. You should start preparing of your retirement, even when you are 30, even you are 40, because in one way or the other, one day you leave this employment. So what I can say is that God has been good to me. The little I was getting then, I started a small business which has matured, and today I can say I have a bigger entity that can take care of my family and even surplus. Otherwise, it's not that I'm so hardworking. No, it is just by the grace of God.
And maybe because there are so many people who watch, maybe you can tell us which industry, because there's someone who will be watching who might want to partner with Bwana Mutahi. What do you deal in, maybe ideally?
Maybe I deal with the normally spare parts.
Oh, great.
But not the spare parts that you know. I deal with the refrigeration, air conditioning spares. And it's a very wide range of spares. We have air conditioning. We do whole air conditioner. We deal with the fridges spares. We deal with the refrigeration, maybe even the morgue. The morgue, we have air conditioning, because even when you die, we want to give you that respect. You want to maintain your body. So refrigeration is a very, very wide area.
Oh, wonderful. Now, many people know you as the lead usher at PCA Dome, leading very wonderful people who you work together. How did you stumble about that service?
What I do in ushering is just voluntarily. Before we used to have a very good team in development, headed by David Waweru, and later headed by Dancy Katukui Kari. And after working in that field for many years, about 20 years, when we left development, I decided now the only thing I want to do is to do the ushering in the church, and that is what I do up to today.
Wonderful.
Otherwise, it's purely voluntary. And then let me emphasize this: all the people we have in ushering are volunteers. Nobody has elected them to be ushers, but from their own free will, they have decided to be ushering the church. But of late we have had challenges, especially in the second service.
Yes.
We are trying to work on it, because we have very few people who are coming, and we are more than 10. And just about half of us are active and half of us are not active. So we are working on that, so to see whether we can improve on our services.
What are some of those things you've learned about ushering, and you've realized the church ushering team is a very serious team, that you might want to encourage someone who is watching and tell them, wherever you are, serve God faithfully? What can you say from that experience you've had?
Let me say, I have said that God has blessed me with a good family. God has blessed me with something, like at least a home. But one thing I can say, if you are honest in whatever you are doing, and you believe in your God, God will be faithful and He will answer your prayers. He has answered so many of my prayers. I know some of them are not answered, but surely I still have hope that one day God is one. Otherwise, it's a good business serving God. And whatever you do today, you may not reap the fruits today, but maybe tomorrow God will reap those fruits either maybe through your children or through your grandchildren.
Maybe now let's go to the Bible side a bit. What are some of those stories in the Bible or people in the Bible who you look at and they inspire you, when stories that you've had along your journey and unaonanga huo mtu, you say they inspire me, and you feel like you trust God more and you feel, you know, your faith has been boosted?
The story of Joseph. You know Joseph, the prime minister of Egypt. He went under so many obstacles. He was so. In fact, when I read about the story of Joseph, it is one of those people. In fact, there are two people who I always admire in the Bible. That is David and this guy called Joseph. You remember Joseph when he was talking about how he would be the leader of the family. Nobody would believe it. He saw sacks starting and all the others were falling. And his was starting, and the father said, no. You young man, you think you can rule over us?
Yeah.
But see the journey that Joseph took, being sold in Egypt, with Potiphar's wife, in prison, name it. And see how he triumphed, finally becoming the prime minister, the second in command in Egypt. Look about David. David, even his own father, could not remember he had a son like David. Because when he saw to bring your sons, he said, okay, they are here. But David is still there. But see how God uplifted him from a houseboy to be the ruler of Israel. Otherwise, these are the two main stories in the whole Bible that inspired me to be whom I am.
Wonderful. So I think Joseph is an interesting figure, and that is a wonderful.
Of course, there are others, but these are the main ones.
That is one of the person you can look at and see their story is great. So maybe as we finalize, we want to reflect also about there is a lot of cry in the nation. People are saying the environment is not good, the economy is a challenge, and some of the people watching us are upcoming leaders. Some of them are in leadership positions. What could be your challenge to the leaders and even those who are coming up? How should we take the future, and how can we be able to?
Let me say, we have a very big challenge, especially in Central Province. There is this issue of honesty. These days you say there is no employment, and surely there is no employment. But my own way, though I'm not a specialist, if I'm told to analyze why we don't have why the unemployment is that low, one area that has really touched almost everybody is honesty. Because faster you find, I have a shop or have a company. You go to the village.
Yeah.
You get your neighbor, you get your cousin, you employ him in your factory or whatever you. After some time, instead of these people working, they start working on ways to bring you down. We have very few people whom you can give 1,000 shillings, 10,000 shillings. You tell them go to the shop, buy A, B, C, D, and give you the receipt back. Properly documented. They want to at least something to be. What I'm saying is, there is nothing better than honesty. That when you are told, do this, you do that. If you are, because what I have learned, you employ somebody 1,000 shillings, you want to steal another 1,000 shillings and bring you down. If it's your cousin, is your neighbor. From there you start having differences because you go back to the village and you start saying, Pastor Shege employed me, and when he made it, he kicked me out, not knowing that even when Shege was going for that guy in Kandara or Muranga, Shege had made it, that's where he was going for. What I would urge the young people is to be honest in whatever they are doing. Be contented with what you are getting. And if you are able to take care of my flock, somebody else will be careful to take care of you. But if you are disintegrating my frog, somebody else will do the same thing when you make it.
Wonderful. Broken down, simply honesty, because honesty means you're faithful to God. Honesty means you respect your brothers. Honesty means you're using resources well. Very good summary. Honesty. In church, honesty. In leadership, honesty. In our families, honesty. Because even in our marriages and in our families, if we are honest, things will go well. What a show. Hope you've learned from the Gifted Usher, and we give thanks to you for watching us, and we pray that you've learned and picked some things from his great instrumental life and inspirational life. We thank you. We appreciate the team that has been able to put this together, the Thome Media team led by Victor and the whole crew, and also everybody who stands with us, including the church leadership, for allowing us to be here. Keep watching us for other amazing shows. Stay tuned. Thank you. Until next time, bye-bye.